QPR lost 3-1 at home to West Brom in their opening fixture of the 24-25 Championship season on Saturday afternoon, marking Rangers' first ever opening day home defeat in the second tier. So for the first time this season, let's break down this QPR performance and discuss the positives and negatives heading into Tuesday's League Cup tie with Cambridge United. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and if you'd like to support further by becoming a paid member of the channel for $1.99 a month, make sure to click the link in the description below. I always find it strange the season starting 20 days before the summer transfer window closes. So few teams at this level head into their opening fixture with all of their business wrapped up, even those freshly relegated from the Premier League with parachute payments galore at their disposal. So with Willock and Armstrong both gone and Chair out injured, we all knew that we were going into this one short in attack. It meant that the news on Friday night that the R's are closing in on deals for Lamel midfielder Koki Saito and Brest winger Karamoko Dembele was greatly welcomed. But it also gave this opening visit from West Brom a strange context, knowing that we wouldn't be fielding a team that would be representative of what we can come to expect this season. Now for balance, it is worth noting that West Brom are not in a totally dissimilar position themselves. A total of 16 players have departed this summer, including last season's top scorer Thomas Asante, and although Rangers target Frabotta and Lewis Dobbin both signed this week, their business isn't yet wrapped up either, and forward Daryl Dike remains absent through injury. The Baggies also lost 5 of 6 in pre-season, and just like QPR didn't score many in those meetings, so like us, their fans didn't really know what to expect after last season's playoff finish. So Martí Cifuentes named about as strong as a team he could. Nardi in for his league debut between the sticks, an identical backline to our last home game against Leeds back in April, Colback and Field in defensive midfield, with an attacking trio of Colley, Andersen and Smith behind new Slovenian striker Sella. It was roughly the team I expected with Varane on the bench, though I'd imagined Frey starting given he'd received the most minutes of any forward in pre-season. Now for the first 16 minutes leading up to Lucas Andersen's first goal of the season, there really wasn't much in it between the two sides. It played exactly like two teams working each other out, working their colleagues out and pushing to get up to league speed. In fact, we had the only chances of the game until we took the lead. Our first glimmer of attacking threat came 11 minutes in, with Andersen launching a dangerous long ball into the box for Colley, but he couldn't quite meet the bounce of the ball well enough, resulting in a simple pass to Alex Palmer. Paul Smith collected a loose ball on the edge of the box 2 minutes later, but couldn't quite find enough power in his shot to even slightly test the keeper. So it was 19-year-old Ryan Colley, Chair's stand-in for the afternoon, that delivered the ball a few minutes later that would break the deadlock. Perfectly weighted, it nestled nicely between the gaps in the West Brom defence for Andersen to purposely header into the top left corner. What a lovely goal to open the season on. A first assist for a promising youngster and a second goal for Andersen after claiming his first in our final game of last season. Could this be the new look Queen's Park Rangers? Well, sadly not, at least for now, because unfortunately after the goal we became incredibly passive. In fact, from 16 minutes on, we didn't have another shot on goal for the remainder of the first half. This came down to a few reasons. For one, Carlos Corberan's West Brom are an incredibly well organised side. They're so effective in possession, they're very rarely wasteful, and Field and Colback were often occupying the same spaces and therefore unable to stop Mowat and Swift from dominating the midfield. And there were also problems down our wings. Smith actually saw a fair amount of the ball down that right hand side and tried to take on his man as often as possible, but new Baggies recruit Hegem at left back, almost double in height of poor Paul, gave him very little joy. This gave us little attacking threat down the right and it allowed Hegem the ability to bomb down the wing himself, setting up West Brom's equaliser on 26 minutes with a floated cross to Josh Maja that neither Dunn nor Smith were able to prevent. Grant exploited our right side pairing again on 38 minutes, but right winger Fellows couldn't keep his volley low enough. Now where was Jan Sella in all of this? Well, he was pretty uninvolved. Throughout his 71 minutes on the pitch, he managed just 15 touches of the ball, which was half of West Brom's measure. But with those who have already started to write him off on his first ever league match in England, it's probably worth remembering that all 51 of his goals for Lugano came inside the box. He got virtually no service at all yesterday, aside from a single ball in behind in the second half. I think it would be too far to say we were totally dominated for the remainder of that first half, or even the match as a whole despite the scoreline, but we didn't threaten for the rest of the first period, and 1-1 was about right heading into the break. The trouble is, the same problems that existed in the first half were prevalent in the second. In fact, our issues down the right were perfectly mirrored on the left. Colley on the other side isn't really a winger in the same way that Chair isn't really a winger. That's not a criticism of him at all, because I thought he showed promise yesterday. He likes to drift and float and cut in, which is where he looks his most dangerous. But the problem is, off the ball he was tucking into the midfield, which meant that Tom Fellows, who I thought was excellent, was given a free run of that wing. Clark Sutter had a header saved on 50 minutes, but just 1 minute later, Josh Maja doubled his tally to take West Brom into the lead. After a tidy combination in the middle from Swift and Maja, the ball was pushed out to Fellows on the right, who casually took the ball around Powell after he lunged in, and he dinked in a very similar ball to Heggham's for Maja to nod in aside a flat-footed Jimmy Dunn. We so nearly had the chance to level things up instantly when Heggam gifted Andersen the ball on the edge of the West Brom box, but the angle was tight inside the area and the Dane pulled it just wide of the left post. Colley, after a bright display, was our first substitute of the day on 57 minutes, making way for Alfie Lloyd. I'm not sure if that's an injury or just cramp, but hopefully it's nothing too serious because he did look good yesterday. 21-year-old Alfie Lloyd didn't look totally out of place at this level either. There was some naivety to his play, just like Colley, but he added an attacking impetus, and unlike much of the starting 11, he tried to be as direct as possible and always looked to head to goal. In fact, from 60 minutes we actually had a lot more attacking opportunities with 5 corners in a row. The problem is, none of them ever really looked like they were going to result in a goal. The plan was very clear: meet Dunn's head at the near post for a flick on for someone else to stab it in. But once the West Brom defence had seen it once, they weren't worried about it, and I think we really missed the opportunity to mix up the deliveries here. And of course, once West Brom finally broke on 65 minutes, we all knew what was coming, even if it did come from the next phase of play. Fellows spun Powell far too easily once again, and although Field attempted to Lewis dunk chest it to Nardi, he instead put it straight into the path of Maja to roundhouse kick his way to a hat-trick. It was an unfortunate goal, but it just about summed up our defence and defensive midfield yesterday. West Brom had 4 shots on target and scored 3 of them. We were messy and far from the ironclad backline that we saw under Marty last season. More subs joined on 71 minutes, with Frey replacing Seller and Varane coming on for Colback for his Loftus Road debut. Both of them showed signs of promise. Frey was far more involved than Jean, despite a cartoon missing of the ball just a few yards out, and Varane looked a lot tidier than Colback. Benny also joined the pitch for Smith on 85 minutes, but he didn't get too much time to show what he can do. There were more QPR chances: Jimmy Dunn from a tight angle on the right hand side, Alfie Lloyd with a nice effort from outside the box, and a Cook half volley at the death, but truthfully we never really looked like finding another goal, and so it was opening day defeat for the R's. Now I think it's natural to feel disappointed from yesterday. West Brom are a very good team, but to lose 3-1 after drawing at half-time on the opening day of a new season was a bit of a sucker punch, even though we knew that we're short on these attacking players. Ultimately, all you can say is we know this team will look very different in a month's time with the inbound attacking players that are due. And there's rumours as well of a potential loan return for Isaac Hayden, whose Premier League experience was sorely missed yesterday afternoon. My only niggling doubt is that some of last season's problems that we've had all summer to work on were very much still on display. A lot of the goals we concede are down our left-hand side. We don't often look like we'll score more than one, and unusually our defence just wasn't communicating. It is going to be a long season though, so there is no reason to panic. I said in my preview we'll need to be patient, and our new players could take weeks if not months to gel. A lot of them haven't ever even played in the Championship. Most positively, Marty didn't go into the post-match conference saying that we might have just played the league winners. He knows where the problems are, he's disappointed, and he's going to address them, but he needs those new faces in and quick. The beauty of the Championship though is the games come thick and fast, and there will be little time to feel sorry for ourselves. On to Cambridge United now in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night, a game that Marty will want to win to show others what we're about. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do let me know what you thought of this performance in the comments below. If you're new to the channel and you liked what you see, then please do like the video and subscribe as well. It really helps me to grow what I'm doing. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow for my Cambridge United preview. Cheers!